Hello, my loves, and welcome back to another reading. We're doing things differently today just because of things. Things feel different lately. I know for myself, it's like I've woken up. It's like I'm here again. It's like I'm alive again. It's like, I don't know. It's been very interesting and honestly like a blessing because I feel like myself again, and I feel like there's quite a few of us here, especially if you're being called to these, readings that also feel the same way. So we are going to do a reading. So this is for the very 1st of December. And how are we here already? It feels like so much time has passed this year, but like none at all at the same time. It's very interesting. I feel like, honestly, that's like how most years feel, although this year has just been, it's been like wading through the waters of the womb to finally be birthed. And when that happens, everything is so quick. Everything feels so quick, and yet still feels like it's taking so long. So today we have the Yule Seasons of the Witch Oracle cards. I felt like I needed to say a caveat there or something, but I don't. So we're going to get the overall vibe for this particular week. That's what I'm being drawn to say, because we had our December reading last week, which was such a beautiful reading. All of our gifts coming in for the holidays. But what is this week bringing us, Spirit? Oop. These are very slippy cards, if you can't tell. Squirrel Medicine. Oh my god, I love this card. When I was looking at it, when I received this deck, this one just like stood really out to me, that and the cardinal one. So Squirrel Medicine. Pitter patter, plan ahead, keep silent your path's desire. No eyes or ears shall see you coming, a well-deserved reveal. I absolutely love this squirrel so much. So, what this is telling me is very much in the way of squirrels squirreling away their nuts for the winter, for the cold months. This feels like there is something that you are cooking. There is something that you are squirreling away so that it can be enjoyed or provide sustenance during the winter. But I'm very much feeling that energy of, even though it's time to rest, even though this season we're getting into the hibernation season. I know I've been feeling that a lot. I've been, I had a couple of weeks ago where I was just exhausted the whole week. That's why there were no readings. But even though that's the case, there is so much mental energy happening. There is so much things that we are planning for in the future to be doing. I know for me, that's my very large music project that's going to be getting going here soon. And I feel like at this point in time, now is not the time to reveal to maybe those outside of your very closest group of people. Those outside of, so for me, I feel like other artsy friends can know, especially, and I'm feeling called to say this, especially since I've had a group of friends recently be like, hey, you know what we should do? We should hang out on a voice call on the online, and each of us do our own creative thing, right? But we're hanging out together because there is like a evidence of this actually spurring on your creativity, keeping it going, keeping the momentum. So every week we're going to be meeting for a couple hours in the evening during the week, and we are going to be working on our individual programs. I was going to say programs. Interesting. Okay, if that resonates for you. But our individual art. Some of us will also sometimes be gaming. You know, it's just sort of this lovely little hangout, which I found really helpful. We just had our first meeting last week. And the next night, I continued working on a thing that I would like to release this month in December. So, hey, and it was a good time because obviously, like, I love these people. So, you know. Okay, so squirreling away. Keeping things to ourselves for the time being, not revealing everything yet. Okay, so that's this week. That is this specific week of December, let's say, well, the 1st actually starts on a Monday, so the 1st to the 7th. Okay, where do we want to go next? Let's pull some tarot, I think. Actually, I'm being pulled to take some of the Woodland Wardens deck. No, let's make sure I got all the cards. Okay, I did. We want more animals. We're having cute vibes for this week. We're having very cozy, warm, getting prepared for the winter. Although where I live, winter is super here. We have like a couple feet of snow now. It's kind of crazy. It's just been snowing like nonstop. Oh, of course. The bee and the pomegranate. So we have the bee and the pomegranate here. This is productivity. So even though we're squirreling away the thing that we are working on, the thing that we are spending time and energy ensuring that our future will bring us back what it is that we need to, I don't want to say survive. I want to say what we need to feel like we have fulfilled our role in this world. Okay? This is and the pomegranate is immediately taking me to Persephone because it always does. Okay, I'm being told just to say this. This was just a thought in my head, and I'm going to adjust it now. We're talking about Persephone, but for a moment here, I was just like, oh, why am I speaking so deeply? My voice is not this deep. I know people take women more seriously when they speak lower, but my voice is not low. If you've heard any of my music, you know I'm a soprano. I can hit those tippy-top high notes, okay? So my speaking voice should not be as low as it is. I feel like this is not in the way that Persephone going to the underworld is a sort of like unmasking of herself. It is a re-seeing of another part of her. It is a stepping into, again, that role that you are here to be in. So, where am I going with this? Where was that thread going? Where was that thread going? Okay, I think I've lost it. But yes, that holy, like that sacred role. She is who she is in the, warm part of the year, in the flowering and fruiting part of the year, right? Where everything gets abundant. But she is also, when she goes into hibernation. Okay, and I'm also being called, good grief. Hold on. She is being called in the dark half of the year to be the queen of the dead. So before I did this reading, so obviously this is very much a reading for me too. Sorry, it's very all over the place. Things are like coming into alignment here. I'm seeing all the threads being pulled in to weave this cloth of moving forward here. But this was the sort of, I had asked sort of like what my December is going to be like. And this is the first card that I got. Turning inward. Inside the veil of bone and flesh, I lay my soul to sleep. All the truths within thy breath have come to greet me. So there is this understanding of ourselves, understanding of our cycles, because this card, the squirrel card is also about cycles, right? Productivity is about cycles because true sort of like biological, natural productivity is based on seasons, right? No matter where it is in the world it is, no matter the individual or the person, there are seasons for productivity. Even in animals, there are seasons where they go into heat, and that is the time for making babies. There are seasons where those babies are being born and raised and taught, right? It's always these cycles. It's always these cycles. And now is the time for turning inward, of keeping these things in ourselves, observing our inner selves, observing our inner deepest, most deepest parts, of taking stock of what these previous seasons have given us, have shown us, have revealed for us, so that we can understand how we need to move going forward. Very interesting, very interesting. So yes, I'm being told that is exactly what it is. In each season, we wear a different crown. In the summertime, Persephone is wearing that flower crown. She is moving around in the world, and she is being this abundance, this blooming person. And in the dark half of the year, she goes away where none of the gods of Olympus can really see her, where she becomes a tender of the dead. 11:33 p.m. as I'm reading this. On 11:30. Beautiful. Yes, and the whole, like, me putting my voice up a little bit higher so it is actually sitting in my actual vocal range, is understanding and being comfortable enough, knowing the holiness of your own self, knowing the holiness of your own seasons, your own rhythms, your own frequencies, and living within that instead of trying to continue to be productive during a season that is really not meant to be productive. We are meant to be sitting inside and being cozy. So if you are finding, and obviously this is for people in the Northern Hemisphere, but if you are finding that you are, even though you may have a lot of energy in your mind to do projects and things like that, but you are tired, like I have been as well, you need to rest. You absolutely need to rest. Turning inward also, for me, this is also sort of saying, like, also understanding the way that our bodies and our minds work. Also understanding that there is a season for everything. And now is, again, that time of reflection. It is not a time for hustling and bustling. It is, we are coming into the holiday seasons and stuff. So there will be some hustle and bustle if you are somebody who celebrates, and if you are somebody who gets together with friends and family and things like that. But this is a time of year for ourselves individually, not the celebrations that are happening, for the holidays, but for ourselves, being gentle, cozying up, knowing that we have stored enough for the winter, and that means resting. It's having that rest there in order to, and self-care there, okay, in order to go through the winter, go through this fallow season, this season of non-growing, of kind of thinking about those seeds and perhaps working here and there, chiseling a little way. You know, I'm seeing somebody whittling at the fire, but not really doing the kind of productive work that happens in the summertime. Now, I would say for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, you know, this may be opposite for you depending on how your body in particular handles the seasons. But I'm assuming that especially in English-speaking countries, you know, you are also dealing with holidays as well. So just take time to rest. Take time to rest. Take time to celebrate and enjoy. But like, take time to rest and understand that the things that you have squirreled away, the ideas that you have, they're not going anywhere. You're going to have them come the end of winter when the sun is out and brighter again, where things can begin to really grow again. So you don't have to worry about it right now. This is the season for rest. So rest. Now, do we want more cards? I'm being pulled to my B deck because, of course, you know. And here I am speaking Laura again. Of course. All right, what are the final messages for this week? I'm definitely hearing, you know, take this week because from here on out, December is always like this. It's like the first week or two kind of usually feels kind of like, you know, cozy as the winter starts coming into the land and stuff like that. But like, as we get closer to those holidays, when all the kids are going to be off from school and everything like that, and then all the festivities really start, it's going to be a lot of hustle bustle. It is going to be a lot of social energy that you're going to need to have. So take that time to rest right now so you can prepare, so you can build up your energy stores to do that and to really enjoy it, right? Because that is to enjoy celebrations, especially with people who you love, is such a way to squirrel away that food, that sustenance for the winter, right? It fuels us, this getting together. Okay. Woo. Let's get some final cards for this first week of December. Okay. We have the Three of Wands. So I'm definitely seeing it's not the planning of travel, it is the travel, in whatever. Let's see what the other cards are, we have the Prince of Wands, a lot of fiery energy here, and we have the Five of Pentacles. Okay. This is really bringing in I feel like here it is that we have these things to do, because when the Three of Wands happens in the order of the wands, it is after the decision to go somewhere else, right? We have landed and we are waiting for the rest of our ships to come in, and this is very much giving me more of that sort of calm of the storm before the storm hits, of all the hubbub and everything that's going to be happening for the holidays. It is a time to just take that momentary rest and sort of see the lay of the land for what is coming in for this. We're talking about the week of, this first week of December, but this is looking forward to sort of what it is that we have to do for the holidays. The Prince of Wands here, is we've got that fire in order to do the really fun things during these holidays. But we also have the Five of Pentacles, which is hardship and understanding. And I think understanding sort of the ways in which we feel lack. And perhaps the message that is coming through is understanding there is a lot of lack in the world right now. There's no denying that. You know, this cold wind is coming in. It's blown over the honey pot. What I'm really getting from this is grief. And I never think it is a good idea to ignore grief. There's many people at any time, anywhere, who at the holidays have something to grieve, have something to process as we go into sort of this. That's the thing about the holidays. It's something that feels holy. And I don't mean this in any sort of like a particular religious way, even though if that is, you know, what you do. But I mean that it is a time set aside for everyone, where we gather together and we do these things. And it is very much a, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm trying to look for like a non-religious word. It's kind of hard. It's like a festival. It's like the festivals of old, but this one is the one that really gets a lot of people in, right? It is a holiday. It is, I can't. It's like this holy thing that we all do together. We have all agreed to do this thing together that makes this particular time of year kind of almost apart from the rest of the year. Which, that is kind of how this used to go, you know, in different places around the world at different points in history before we all decided to do Gregorian calendar, because places would set aside the last, is it 5 days or something like that, of the year as this sort of liminal space, right? This space that isn't really part of the year. It is outside of the year. And that's what it has continued to be, even though our, you know, current situation is very commercialized, right? But it is still this liminal space. People joke all the time about, you know, between December 6th and December 31st, right? It being like, what, where am I? Who am I? What time of day is it? What day is it? I don't know, you know? So in this space that is coming up, even though we may not be able to fully immerse ourselves as we used to as children, as younger people, before grief and hardship has come upon us, make space for the grief here. I just want to say, in this reading, I feel very sort of stunted in, like, my thoughts. I feel very, and I'm getting the message right now. What's coming to mind is that, yes, that's because this week you are not supposed to be really moving forward. Even though we have the Prince of Wands here, you are looking forward to things. And it's like I said earlier, I have been really tired, but I have also have been having so many thoughts of the things that I would like to do. And that's the energy that I am getting here. There is that productivity. There is doing these things, but it is very much giving yourself some time for space, or for space. Good grief. See, I can't speak. Giving yourself some time for rest this week as everything continues to wind up and get more intense. Give yourself space to grieve if you need to grieve. I have things this year, you know, since 2020 has been really, really difficult for my family. You know, I have grandparents to grieve now. I have, oh, okay, we're going to get a little deep here. I have myself to grieve because I feel like I have not been myself in that time. I have lost, like, continued to lose and lose and lose her. She's been covered up in these layers of grief and stress and anxiety and worry. But here's the thing. Now, finally, I see myself again. I feel myself again in this body. So take some time to grieve for yourself as well, if that is something that you need to do. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up here because otherwise I will not find any more words for this reading. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.